All right, welcome back to Cuda Confidential. We're very pleased to be joined by one of the newer members of the San Jose Sharks organization, forward Alex Barré-Boulet. Alex, first and foremost, thank you for the time. Can you just walk us through what July 1st is like for a free agent, how you land in San Jose, how the contract came to be, and just everything that went into what is, I'm sure, for a free agent, kind of a nervy time?
Yeah, it's always special. It was my third time doing it, so not as nervous as the first time for sure. It was a little different this year. My first two times doing it, I actually wanted to go somewhere else. Last year, just I thought for sure I was going to stay in Colorado. We had a great team and everything like that, but how hockey works, pro hockey, it's business. So that didn't work. So I wasn't nervous at all because I thought I was staying until the last minute, and then the Sharks called, and obviously it was an easy yes when they offered me what they gave me.
So talk us through the deal. 2 years, the security. I'm sure a player in your situation always looking for more years. That's obviously a benefit. You spent the 1 year in Colorado, 1 year in Montreal the year before. So to get the offer for 2 years, was that something that was really enticing?
Yeah, it was big for me and the family. I got two young kids. I got a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old at home. My son's going to start school in San Jose, not this year, but the following year. So it was important for me and my wife to have a place where, we can stay more than a year so they can make friends, get to know their surrounding a little bit before they get into school.
Talk to us how life has changed now that you're a dad.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Enjoy the road a lot more now. I can sleep in a little bit more, but it's been great, seeing them growing up every day. Especially, as a hockey player, I feel like life goes on a lot faster. So yeah, it's been great. First year is always harder when you get your kids for the first time, like a lot less sleep and stuff like that, but you get used to it quick. When you get home and you're having a bad day or a bad game or something like that, it changes your mood right away. Before I would probably carry that mood for a couple of days because I was pissed if we weren't playing for a couple of days, but now, you move on pretty faster. Much faster, actually.
Do you anticipate them playing hockey?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, my son, I want him to get into hockey. No rush. I won't pressure him into doing it. If he wants to do it, he will. But he likes coming to the rink. Last year, a coach in Colorado was nice enough to, when we had optional days, I could bring him at the rink. So he was hanging out with the guys and stuff like that. And he really liked that stuff. Now it's just to get him on skates a little bit more, and maybe he can start playing in San Jose.
We had a mini stick giveaway last year. I have a 1.5-year-old daughter, and I already have it in her hand. So she doesn't quite know how to hold it with two hands yet.
Yeah.
Kind of whacking it. It's a little dangerous too. It's almost like I'm going to get high stick. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or do you already
especially
have
with
a stick in hand?
oh yeah, no, he has mini sticks and mini net where you can shoot pucks and stuff like that. But that's always dangerous, and my daughter's around too.
What are your kids' names?
Zach and Anna.
And obviously, and I go through it traveling with the team as well, you have to depend on your wife, and they have to take on such a big responsibility. Um, I'm sure it's a lot on her for you to be on the road, but talk about how important your wife has been in your hockey journey.
Oh, 100%. Like,
For you.
she's 24/7 with the kids. If anything happens, she's the one that got to take care of it if I'm not there. Yeah, she's been my rock so far. Like, it's not easy. Sometimes if we don't play for a week, I'm more tired than if we play and we go on the road because, taking care of the kids, it's exhausting sometimes. But she's doing an amazing job. Honestly, if she wasn't there, I don't think I could play hockey, with the family and everything like that. So no, she's been amazing so far. And yeah, I can ask for a better wife so far.
Let's talk about last year. You had a great season with Colorado. You guys are on the doorstep of reaching the Calder Cup final. Statistically, you had an outstanding year. Why was that such a good fit for you?
Um, it was a little weird at first, because I've always played out east before. I always had 6 or 7 French guys on my team with me. So it was a little change last year when I came in and I had 0 French guys with me. And that was almost a good thing because I had to kind of come out of my shell and go out of my way to make friends and new teammates and stuff like that. But it clicked right away. Our team spirit was probably the best I've had. Last year, we were so tight. The fact that we had a good team helped. But, we're always doing stuff on the road as a team. And I think it translated on the ice. When we started the playoff, there was no doubt in our mind that we could go all the way. Came up short game 7 in the conference final, but I still firmly believe that we should have won that series in 5 games. So it's not always how it goes. Sometimes in the playoff you need a little luck and stuff like that. But it was a great year overall, and it's a group that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life for sure.
Well, you're not coming out to San Jose solo. You've got a couple of your former Eagle
Yeah.
mates that have jumped aboard too. Ty Felleber signed a 1-year deal with the Sharks. Kyle Kaiser, who was up and down with Utah and Colorado last year, a goaltender, also joining the Sharks organization. I'm sure that helps to have a familiar face. I know you know,
100%.
but have some guys.
Yeah, especially like me and Fella knew each other since Syracuse. We played a little bit together in Syracuse, and I mean, you're gonna get to know him. He's the life of the party. Like he's the typical glue guy. He's always in a good mood. He brings a joy to the rink every day. Same with Kai's. If it wasn't for the two great goalies we had last year, he would have played in the American League all year. He was awesome when he played with us. I firmly think he's probably going to stick around all year this year with us. He's awesome, good guy, works hard. Same with Fella. And yeah, like I said, like we all thought we were coming back, and then half the team left, so it kind of made it a little easier to leave. And July 1st, actually, Fella texted me at like 4 p.m. He's like, "Hey, how was your day, bud?" I told him, "Pretty good. Yourself?" He's like, "I'm coming with you." So I was really excited when he texted me. We were in vacation in Boston when that happened, and I think my wife could tell on my face I was really happy he was coming with me.
He's had such a unique path. I saw him a long time ago in Texas with the Stars when he was first kind of getting his feet wet. It wasn't a smooth path for him. How have you seen him grow playing with him before and then in Colorado last year? How impressed are you just the perseverance, the stick-to-itiveness over the years, and
Yeah,
just finding a
I
way
mean,
to find
I
a
think
way?
he's such a good guy, like a good locker room guy. He's just happy all the time. That it kind of probably made him easier for him to just keep grinding because he was always in a good mood, always happy. Um, you know, when I was with him in Syracuse, I probably played 5 games with him and he got hurt right away. So I didn't really see him play that much in Syracuse. But as soon as I came back to training camp last year, we were skating before camp together. And I was like, holy, like, I didn't remember him like that. Like, he can play. Like, and I ended up playing with him for like 2 or 3 months straight with him and Jason Megna. And that was probably the best line I had all year. So it's impressive what, coming from the coast to the AHL to playing his first national game 2 years ago. That's awesome for him because he's such a good guy. He deserves every bit of it.
So the year before this past year, you were under contract with the Canadiens. You're from Quebec. Was that kind of a dream come true for you?
Yeah, that one was special. Especially, they gave me the one way, but that's what I was looking for. So I was really happy with that. So I knew I had a shot coming in at training camp. Probably had the best camp I could have asked for, honestly. Was fortunate enough to start the year there. Opening night at the Bell Center against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That was pretty iconic. My dad's was the biggest Habs fan I knew. Like he changed his teams now, but before that, like he wasn't missing a game on TV. And it was very special for me and my family. Not gonna lie, that was probably the most special game I played in the NHL, that opening night. But got sent down probably a week after that. So the dream finished pretty early. But even playing in Laval is pretty special. There's 11,000 fans every night. And you can feel it's a big market. Like we're on TV every night over there. There's 15 media after games and stuff like that. So it's special. It was special, but like it doesn't take anything away from Colorado or Syracuse, where I had an amazing time there as well too. Like Colorado's, I think it's been sold out for 160 some games in a row. Syracuse is always a good crowd too. I made lifelong friends all the place I played for sure.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure you just hold kind of a special place in your heart for all your stops. And as you look back on your career, many years from now, when you're done playing, you'll probably appreciate all the different experiences. You've had a unique path, undrafted, a guy who is now going to enter his 9th season of pro hockey. I mean, that's impressive in itself. How do you view your career to this point? You've got a long way to go, but there's got to be a lot of pride for somebody who was overlooked at one point, but has found a way to stick.
Yeah, for sure. My agent was honest with me enough when I was playing in junior. He told me, I don't think you're going to get drafted. And, I appreciated that. I was ranked my first year that I could get drafted. I was ranked like 141st in North America or something like that. And my dad was like, do you want to go to the draft? And I was like, no chance. Like, I'm not going there not to get drafted. And I knew, like, I hadn't talked to any team. San Jose was actually the only team I talked to my whole junior career. So it's kind of ironic now. But yeah, coming in the pro, I just had no expectations. So I think that's why I was, successful earlier, because I didn't come in, being a high draft pick or anything like that. I had no pressure. And when I came to Syracuse, I had all the tools to help me get better. I had great veteran. I had guys like Corey Connacher, Gabriel Dumont, Michael Bourneval, who had all played a lot of NHL games and up and down. They knew like the business side of the game too. So they just took me under their wing, and my confidence just kept going up and up and up. And I had a coach that gave me a big role right away. So that helped a lot.
Well, that last year in the Q, you exploded. I think you had 54 goals. You were the CHL Player of the Year, the Quebec League Player of the Year. So something obviously clicked. You said you only spoke to the Sharks in junior. Were teams starting to sniff around, though, at that point when you have a year like that?
Yeah, a little bit. I went to the Kings rookie camp my 18-year-old year, and I went to Vegas rookie camp after the year after. Then I signed with Tampa. But when I signed with Tampa, I signed December 1st, which is not technically allowed. Like, you're supposed to wait till March 1st. So we didn't tell anyone. But the Sharks were actually the other team that were trying to have me. And I ended up choosing Tampa just because of their history with smaller players like Yanni Gord, Tyler Johnson, Corey Connacher. I saw all the success they had with those small guys. So for me, it was the right choice back then. But yeah, the Sharks were actually the only other team talking to my agent at the time.
It's funny you say that because Jimmy Huntington had almost the identical story. The Sharks were one of the teams trying to court him out of junior, ends up going with Tampa Bay, and it's funny how full circle he ends up landing in San Jose many years later. You mentioned just size. Do you think that was the reason why you weren't drafted, just being a guy who was a little bit on the smaller side of things?
I mean, in junior, even now, being slow and small is not the best combo. And, I was never the fastest guy on my team or anything like that. Like, I like to think I'm quick. Like, in the corner, I can change direction pretty quick. But on the straight line, I was never the fastest guy. So when you're a smaller guy, that was never a good thing. And, I worked hard on it, but still got ways to go. But back in junior, I was a very bad skater.
Well, I've seen you play. I saw you a lot last year in Colorado. I don't believe you. You're quick. You're exactly in small areas, no question, and off the rush. I mean, you're as fast as anybody in the league that we've seen. Breaking in with Syracuse, 34 goals a rookie season as an undrafted guy, rookie of the year in the American Hockey League. Did you think I've got this figured out and I've got a long career here? What worked in that first year for you?
Like I said, I was pretty fortunate that when I came to training camp in Tampa, I got to know the guys and everything like that. I got sent down. And then, weird to say, but someone got hurt on the top six. So my coach put me on the top six, being an offensive guy, and then put me on the power play. My first game, I scored, and I got an apple. So like the confidence just went, oh, okay, I can do this at pro level. And all year, it just kept going. And my coach just gave me the ice time and the confidence to make plays and not be afraid to make mistakes. And I was fortunate to play with guys like Carter Verhaeghe my first year. The amount of tact in I had was probably the most I ever had in my career. Like, a lot of goals were probably credited to him.
Are you surprised that he's put the career together?
Not at all. We could tell in Syracuse, he was making plays like nobody else was in the league. He's fast. He's working hard. Like, we knew that fall year he was going to stay in Tampa. We got to training camp and he made the team. Wasn't playing a whole lot, but then he signed with Florida and exploded. And can't say that I was surprised. No, he's an amazing hockey player.
We're talking to Alex Barré-Boulet, signed a 2-year, two-way deal with the Sharks on July the 1st. You play your first 2 full seasons in the American Hockey League before you finally do break into the NHL. 34 goals as a rookie, 27 your second year. So it wasn't like a fluky first season. You put up big-time numbers the following year as well. As you're going through that, hoping for a chance to get to the NHL, what was going through your mind before you broke through, before you got that opportunity?
I was always going to stay patient because I knew that Tampa's window was in 2018 to 2022 to win the Stanley Cup. I think my first year we had 0 call up front, not one. Like, they were healthy the whole year. I think they were 13th forward, played 9 games. Like, there's just no way nobody was going to get called up, so nobody was worried about it that much. Kind of the same thing my second year, and we knew we weren't going to get games just to get games because they were rebuilding. They were trying to win the championship every year, so that was hard. But I always said that I would rather play a little longer in the American League and be ready when I get my shot than get 10 games my first year and blew it up and, never go back. So my third year was really the year where, I wanted to, make the jump. And it happened. It was COVID year, which was a little weird because, first game in the NHL, I had nobody in the stands in Carolina. During my rookie lap, there's nobody in the stands, which almost a little better. I wasn't nervous or anything like that. But, I ended up getting 15 or 14 games that year, played pretty good. But that's the year they won their second cup with Cooch and Stammer coming back in the playoff, and everybody was saying they were 18 million over tap. So that was great because we followed them throughout all the playoff and stuff like that. So we got to see what it takes to win a championship. We got to celebrate with them. We all got our little lap with the Stanley Cup in the middle of the ice in Tampa. So that was a great experience. And then, the year after when I got picked up by Seattle on waivers, I thought, this is my shot, and ended up being waived again, and Tampa again, and then Syracuse, Tampa. So it's hard mentally when you get sent down, get called up, sent down. You're playing not to get sent down, then you're playing to get called up. It's a weird feeling, but as you get older, you kind of learn how to play with that.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the emotions that go into that. It's an emotional roller coaster, no pun intended, going up and down. But quickly on hoisting the Stanley Cup, what is that like when you're not actually playing in the game? Are you wearing your socks, shin guards, pants, skates already, and just kind of waiting for the game to end? How does that all
Yeah, so they were up 1-0 with 10 minutes to go, and Luke Shen was with us. He wasn't playing that game, so he just said, "Follow me, guys." So we went down to our dressing room that we had for the Black Aces and started getting dressed and watched the game on TV for the last 5 minutes maybe, and then we just jumped on the ice like we won the whole thing. Not gonna lie, I didn't feel comfortable like raising the cup like that. It's a cool photo, I'm not gonna lie, but I will never say that I won the Stanley Cup. I didn't play a single game. I like the fact that I was around the team and I got to that experience, but kind of feel like a fraud a little bit.
I don't know, man. I understand players feeling that way, having not played in games, but I mean, you're there, you're with the guys. There's an emotional kind of toll there, and if you ask players who won, and I've heard them talk about Black Aces and guys who didn't play, they credit them as being important pieces.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially that year, I played the last 15 games of the season, so I was with the team. I was traveling with the team and stuff like that, which was nice. But as soon as the playoffs start, you don't see them. Like you go work out very early in the morning, so you're not in the way, which is normal. You don't want to be a distraction or anything like that. And yeah, for sure, like you're part of the group, but like funny story, the first time they won, I got a text, "Hey, what day do you want the cup?" And I said, I don't want it. I don't want a day with it if I didn't play to win it.
Yeah, I understand that too. When you looked at this, was that the first time you'd seen the Stanley Cup in person?
Yeah. No, actually, I went to the Hall of Fame maybe a year or two before that was the first time. But my buddy, Sammy Blais, who won the Cup in St. Louis in 2018-19, I believe, that was the first time I actually saw it from up close. We had a big party for his Cup and everything like that in our hometown. So that was awesome, but I didn't want to touch it or anything like that.
I understand that. Going back to what you were talking about, getting picked up off waivers by Seattle, kind of this yo-yoing and the emotional toll. As you went through your career, just understanding that a lot of these things are out of your control, and you've got to just focus on the present. You've got to just focus on what you, again, can't control. How have you evolved, matured, for lack thereof a better term, over your career to not let those emotions impact you maybe as much as they did when you were a youngster?
Yeah. I want to say until I got to Montreal, it would affect me. Like when I got sent down, I'd be down for a couple of days, and then it's never easy because you think you made it, but you always you're so close to making it for real, but you're so close to getting sent down. That's tough to deal with at first, but I think that's experience. When it happens a couple times, you got to stop thinking every time you get sent down that when the phone rings, it's always going to be the GM to tell you you're going back up, because you're going to go crazy. So the last time I got sent down to in Syracuse which, I had started the season and I stayed till February. That was probably the hardest blow because I thought, well, I've been here for 5 months, everything kind of going well. I didn't expect to get sent down. That was hard, but I knew I wasn't going back up that year. Like, you kind of feel it. And then when I signed in Montreal, I just said, you know what, F it. I don't come in with expectations. If I play in Laval, I play in Laval. If I play Montreal, I play Montreal. And that ended up being a good thing because I made the team and then got cut right away after a week. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go with a good attitude to Laval. And my season kind of took off right away instead of taking 2-3 weeks to start.
Is that one of the reasons with somebody who has a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old to be in an organization where the AHL club's down the hall, knowing that if you do get called up, that you don't have to move, your wife isn't impacted as much. Was that something that was like a really good fit in your mind?
Yeah, 100%. That's kind of why we chose Colorado last year too. Last year we were an hour away from Denver. So if you get called up, you can just drive game day. So yeah, that's a big part. Not Syracuse, Tampa, it's an 18-hour drive if you get called up or sent down. So that was a little harder, but like that 1 year, I think I saw my kid a month out of 8. So that was very tough. Coming back home and my daughter was 1.5 maybe, and she pretty much had no idea who I was. That was hard. So yeah, that's big. That the both team in the same place. You get called up, you get sent down, you still stay in the same house. You still get to see your kid at the end of the day. So yeah, that's a big factor in why we chose San Jose too.
Have you spent any time on the West Coast before?
Not really. I mean, last year we did go out there quite a bit, being Colorado in that division. But other than that, like I said, I went to LA and Vegas training camp. But no, I'm not a big traveler. So when I get home in the summer, I like to stay home.
I understand that with all the travel throughout the season, just plant your feet once the off season comes and not go too far. California, great weather. We always ask players about this. You haven't necessarily been, Tampa, but full time in a place where the sunshine is out a lot of the time. You looking forward to that? And I'm sure your wife and your kids.
Oh, 100%. Even, being in Colorado compared to being out east was a big difference. It would snow, but it'd be gone in 2 days. So that was great. But I can only imagine how great it's going to be this year. Not having to dress the kid up before they go out in the snow and stuff like that is going to be awesome.
Well, we're looking forward to having you. Quickly, we'll dive into your early stages of your career, and we'll get you out of here shortly. But where did it all start? Where did this passion, this love for hockey start? You're from Quebec, north of Montreal, I think by 3 hours or so is what I saw. It's embedded in the culture, but where did this start for you?
I came from my dad, pretty much. He was a hockey player growing up. He didn't play pro or anything like that. Was supposed to go play Canadian college. Then he met my mom, so that kind of stopped the whole thing. But yeah, he was a huge hockey fan. My grandfather was too. So, started skating at 3, started playing at 4 in my hometown, and, graduated the level. Normally as a kid, played Timbits, as we call him back home, played in the Novus, Adam, Pee-wee. And Pee-wee had to move out a little bit. It's like 40 minutes outside the city where I was, so nothing crazy. Same with Midget AAA. And then got drafted into the Q. And then that's the first time I really had to move out of my hometown.
Did you grow up playing on any outdoor rinks, or were you just going?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had a ODR for 2 years in my backyard. But my dad had to put a stop to it because I started breaking the walls of the house and stuff like that with my buddies. But we had one across the street at the park, across from my house, actually. So like me, Sammy Blay, all my close buddies, we'd go play at night. We'd wait till all the kids were gone and we'd go play at like 9, 10 o'clock at night until 11 o'clock midnight during Christmas break and stuff like that. Yeah. Or even playing street hockey. We probably play street hockey every night for 15 years.
That just brought back a memory. I grew up in California, but I grew up playing hockey as a kid, and none of my friends played, but I had puck marks in my mom's house. We had a net right in front and like the black rubber puck marks all over the house. Yeah, my poor mother. Once she got to an age that we all kind of like graduated from it, I'm sure she was relieved about that. Playing on the outdoor rinks, who are you imagining you were? Who was your favorite player as a kid? Where was that kind of dream going?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, the Blackhawks were, the big powerhouse in the league. So I was a big Jonathan Toews fan. And then growing up a little later when I got to 14 years old, 15 years old, I always liked to compare my game to David Deronay. who played in Montreal for probably 8, 9 years. He was a smaller guy, he's good IQ. He's from where I'm from too, not the same city, but same area. So it was easy to relate to a guy like that.
I'm surprised you like Taves. I would have thought Kane as kind of a smaller, skilled forward.
Yeah, but Taves was Canadian.
Okay, that's fair.
Team Canada and stuff like that, the
That's
Olympics in
fair.
2010. He scored a big goal in the final. So
That's fair enough. Do you have siblings?
yeah, I have an older sister. She's a teacher at primary school back home.
Okay, so did she play any hockey, or it was just you?
She didn't play hockey. She did a bunch of stuff. She did figure skating for a little bit. She did soccer. She did dancing class. But other than that, she didn't do much sports. She was running tracks in high school and stuff like that.
Do you see you and your wife and your family settling back kind of where you are? Did you say you were in Quebec City, or is that where you
No,
fly?
it's South Shore, Quebec City right now. Yeah, I bought my house where I work out in the summer. It's 30 minutes from my hometown. It's 20 minutes from Quebec City, where my wife grew up. So it's just a perfect in between.
Where do you meet your wife?
Actually, we met my last year in junior. She was going to college in Montreal, and I played junior in Montreal, and then that's how we met.
And did she know she was going to be on this wild professional hockey journey?
No, she didn't know at first. She told me actually the other day. She's like, I had no idea what the American League was. Yeah, and she got to know pretty quick because that last year, the fact that I was leading the queue in points, and Montreal didn't want to sign me, which was fine. Like, it was fair. I wasn't mad or anything like that. But we started dating and everything, and she went to breakfast and she saw my face on the front page of the newspaper, and she's like, pretty sure that's the guy I'm dating. And she sent me the photo, and she's like, why are you on the papers?
That probably didn't hurt, right? It probably
No,
helped.
that was good. That was nice for the ego.
Yeah, right. That's a good sales job by the newspaper helping you out.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to this year. We mentioned a little bit off air, and this will be my final question for you. We talked about Darren Radish off air. You played with him, a big name in the free agent sphere this summer. Traded Toronto, signs a big deal. He was a late bloomer, a guy who spent a lot of time in the American Hockey League. Do you look at that situation as inspiration? And do you still have aspirations as a 29-year-old to continue to push for an NHL job and try to secure one of those jobs?
Yeah. I mean, when he came to Tampa or Syracuse, I think it was already like his third organization, I want to say. But we could tell right away, his one-timer on the power play was deadly. You could tell offensively was really good. Maybe just didn't have the chance to show it at the highest level before. And, when he got his first call up, he never came back. So you could tell he was ready. And for me, yeah, one of the reasons I'm staying in North America, I'm not going to Switzerland or another league in Europe, is because I still want to play in the NHL. I know at my age, it's not the easiest thing to do. I've been the younger guy that maybe gets the call up easier, and it's totally normal. But yeah, that's why I'm still in North America. I'm still pushing to be in the American League and hopefully, get another chance at the NHL level.
Well, while with the Barracuda, and hopefully it's not long. I always interview guys who come in on NHL deals, and I hope you don't see me much again because I root for you guys. I hope you get those opportunities. While with the Barracuda, how do you hope that you can impact the team?
Yeah, I think, being an older guy now, I think I can just bring leadership, on the ice and off the ice. I think on the ice, I'm a hardworking guy. Yeah, I think I'm a skilled guy, but I've always been a hardworking guy. So I think that's how you show leadership on the ice. It's not just the toe drag and the high seam plays, the really nice plays that show leadership. I think it's just how you play the game every day. And I think that's why I'm having success since I started my career. I kind of show up every day at the rink, and I'm happy to be there. And I want to work hard and I want to win. And I think looking at our lineup, we could have a really good year this year.
Well, it seems like just our brief interaction here that you will fit seamlessly. You seem like a great guy. Will be a great addition to the room, and obviously highly skilled and very productive at the AHL level. We wish you the best going into training camp. We hope you steal one of those jobs that can make an impact, but we look forward to meeting you in person as well. But Alex Barré-Boulet, one of the newer members of the Sharks organization, thank you again for the time. Safe travels. I know you're flying from Quebec to Colorado, driving all your stuff to the West Coast. So safe travels, and we'll see you in a month or so.
Yeah, thank you.